You're live on Joy News today. Now, NADMO officials have begun distributing some relief items to displaced residents in the Upper West region. They include some bags of rice cooking oil, sleeping mattresses, and clothing. So far, 722 farms belonging to 1,605 farmers have been submerged, with 80 houses destroyed, leaving over 300 persons displaced. We will speak to the Upper West Regional Director of NADMO shortly, Mustafa Ahmed. He is on the grounds. But first, here are some displaced residents with their concerns.
We are talking about farmlands being affected, and we are talking
We apologize for the wrong inserts there. We will be hearing from those displaced residents as we, of course, speak to the NADMO boss. Now, of course, over the week, what we've learned is that the National Disaster Management Organization itself is a victim of this flood, because when 3 roads were washed away, that means the access road to the warehouse for NADMO was also cut off from the rest of the region. And as a result, NADMO itself took a while to be able to mobilize the resources they needed to come to the aid of these persons. And for the past few days, NADMO has been asking that benevolent individuals come to their aid to enable them to do their job. Let's now hear from the displaced residents.
Livelihood of persons in the affected communities is greatly threatened as foodstuff, livestock, and crops have been destroyed as a result of the floods. Access to healthcare in some communities has equally been challenged greatly, as these communities cannot have access to the nearest health facilities as a result of the inaccessible roads. In fact, some communities have virtually become islands. The Ministry of Roads and Highways should liaise with the Ministry of Defense to, as a matter of agency, deploy the 4th 8th Engineers Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces to the region to create temporary access while efforts are made to rehabilitate the roads and bridges. This intervention should not be limited to the major trunk roads, but should also include the feeder roads that have equally been affected by the floods. In the interim, also, maintenance work should be conducted on the existing alternative.
You're live on Joy News today. Let's speak to Ahmed Mustafa. He's the regional director for NADMO. Now, we understand that community leaders are aiding your officials to deliver some of the relief items to residents in hard-to-reach areas on the canoes, Mr. Mustafa. Tell us how successful the relief exercise has been so far.
Yes, good afternoon, and thanks for the opportunity. I think this afternoon we are doing so well, and I'm thinking that by close of day, the distribution will be a success, because we've been using the assembly members and the opinion leaders, the chiefs, and other elders of the communities who are affected. And so far, we have been doing a good job with them. So this afternoon, we are giving them the 5x5 bags of rice. That's 100 of them. Then the 1x12-liter cooking oil, 30 boxes. Then we are giving them blankets. We are giving them second-hand used clothing. We are giving them student mattresses, and we are giving them buckets and other detergent materials as well.
How many people have been reached so far?
The preliminary assessment that we did indicated that about 336 were actually displaced, and they are the very people we are targeting at this material moment.
My question is, how many have received items so far as of now?
Yes, we are not having the number at hand, because we are using the leaders from each community so that we can hand over to them to use the canoe to cross over to distribute to the individual.
So how are we monitoring that the right people indeed get the items and
your men are here.
They are not hoarded?
Your men are here, and my district directors are also here. So after this distribution, they will have to access every community that the items get to the rightful people.
Right. So your plan for monitoring the distribution of these items is a journalist doing journalism?
No, my men are with me currently at the center. And I'm saying that they will have to do the supervisory role, making sure that everybody who was affected at least get a feel of the relief items we are giving to them.
Beyond the immediate relief that are given to these people, there are also those whose livelihoods have been lost. Is there any sort of plan for some of these people?
Come again, sir.
For those farmers who have lost their farmlands, their livelihoods have been lost. Are there any plans for them?
Yes, there's a plan. We are currently in touch with the Ministry of Agriculture, and we are still in touch with other organizations are also calling on. So after this first phase, the second phase is to attend to the farming, the farmers who have also lost their farm produce through the flood.
And when will that begin, that second phase?
Immediately, it's an ongoing event. So immediately after this, once the food items and everything has been sorted up, we'll kickstart that one too immediately.
Thank you very much, Ahmed Mustafa, for joining us. He is a regional director for NADMO in the Upper West region. You're live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Daryl Kwa is next with business.